I hope everything sounds good. I am going to jump right into this. We're talking today about ballerina farms when the wealthy role play being hard farm workers. This disclaimer, I want to say at the beginning, I don't know these people personally. Obviously, when I say I think, like, I never will. This is what they display on public. I think for wealthy people, they're doing a tremendously fabulous job of raising their kids, keeping them grounded, teaching them real skills. I've seen those young boys cooking like she does from scratch in the kitchen. I think that is great. And that's where I think they should stay as far as like inspiration and role modeling. They should like be the wealthy people because a lot could probably learn from them. When people who live in a different realm of reality, basically, than you, they probably shouldn't be who you look up to. And I say that because in her comment section, I see a lot of adoration, just plain adoration, mostly. But there are also a lot of comments where women are just straight up saying that they are inadequate or made to feel inadequate after watching that. And that's not Hannah's responsibility, their feelings. However, I did notice in the past few months she has disclosed a few things, and I think she does it because she is has good intentions and is thinking of these women that are like pining in the comment section, that she cooks meals from scratch once every 2 weeks, which once again, I think that's great that she does that. But she's trying to tell people, look, I don't do this every day. Hardly anybody could actually do that every day. And they definitely wouldn't have time to produce content. Not that she doesn't have a whole team, like she does have a production team, and she said that they do farm chores on the weekends only. So they're not out there doing stuff every day. I mean, from the beginning, and people like, actually, but this woman isn't milking her cow every single day. Like, it's no. And it's great that they show their kids hard work and they want to work hard, even part time. I think that's great. I just had to say this, like, before I get into negative stuff. Hannah is undeniably attractive and talented, and most things great that a woman can be. And if I spent my time or energy being jealous of all the women that I deem to be that way or more so than me in all those ways, I would just be an ate up wreck. I'm really not jealous of her. I'm not envious of this. And you'll see as I get into it. So, with all that aside, they seem like great parents. They're doing a great job raising those kids from my perspective. Just even the part-time chores, the part-time farming, and the once every 2 weeks cooking from scratch is more than most people do. So, I just wanted to say that before I get into the reasons why I believe they shouldn't be role models, and it's actually their presence may be detrimental in this landscape right now with small farms. So they claim that they built a farm from scratch. And I just want to say that's offensive to anybody that really has built a farm from scratch and didn't come from a billionaire family. I know I sound hateful and I'm sincerely sorry, but once my message comes through, I hope that it doesn't sound like I'm just hating on them because they have a lot of money. I think it's awesome they decided to farm. I think that's really admirable, but it's also scary. So during a Q&A on one of their channel on her channel, somebody asked, I'm sorry, I forget what the question that was asked, but he replied to her, "You made it. You'll never have to worry about going hungry, being hungry." I'm paraphrasing, but the way they giggled together, like it was just gross and yucky to me. And like they are like the 0.3%, and everybody else supposedly, allegedly, it's just not. I'm not going to say that they think we're peasants, but they're so out of touch. They have no idea how bad things are when they're selling when they're making good sales. That's all that matters to them. That's all that matters. It's fine to continue to train your body throughout pregnancy. Like if you look at the videos right after she gave birth, that's where the comments are the worst in terms of women just saying that they feel really bad about themselves. Athletes do continue to train. It can be safe, and I'm just saying most of us that have been through pregnancy knows the way your body changed. She has to work so hard because your body holds on to fat. It makes fat like easier. Your fat will sink into places you never knew that it could. And she's just like working so hard on herself. And I just want to say if this was once again a trailer park woman, let's just a woman that lived in a trailer park and she had her eighth baby and she was working out daily in order to look as good as she could to go down to the county fair and participate in a pageant 12 days after birthing her last baby. Would people be like saying all the kind words like I don't get that at all. I think it's insane. I think it's selfish. I think it's narcissistic. On top of bringing your baby, you should be resting that baby for at least a month, ideally more like 6 weeks. You should cocoon your baby, meaning it doesn't go anywhere public. And I'm sure they had like a private jet, but even so, that baby was traveling. That baby was like in a hotel room and around so many people that didn't have to be. And she also brought her terminally ill father. So I'm sorry, I'm going to be done really soon. So that's all I have to say about that. It's just taking a lot of risks to go represent another state. She represented South Dakota in this pageant because she lives in Utah and Utah was already taken. And I'm sorry, I think that's kind of goofy. And pageants should be for young women who need to pay for school. They shouldn't be for women who just gave birth 12 days ago and have kids at home. But I honestly think it was a way for her to even get a freaking break, you know? Like she had to do that to even get time alone with her baby, possibly. It's just focusing on your vanity. Once again, if she was in a trailer park woman going to the county fair pageant 12 days after giving birth, we would obviously look at that and be like, wow, that's not really right. So she fundraised for the care or the funeral, either or both, at least the funeral for sure, but I think she fundraised twice for her dad. I think if you are married to a billionaire and you married into a billionaire family, it should be illegal to ask for money from the rest of us, at least right now in these times. And she really harps on where their meat comes from. However, or knowing where your meat comes from, they sell meat from farms through their website, not disclosing exactly what those farms are. So it'll just say something like from a partner farm, you know, from one of our friends. And I don't think that's right. Excuse me. When she's like skimming the surface of what she could be bringing so much advocacy to, that's all she'll say. Know where your food comes from. Meanwhile, she's selling food where people don't know where it comes from. So I'm going to end it on this. I just saw a really good video a YouTuber, Alexandra Fasulo, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, made. And she goes into how in the next 20 years, $24 trillion of farmland and assets are going to change hands because right now the average American farmer in America, in USA, is 60 years old. A lot of them don't have land or family to pass their land down to. And now is a great time to get into farming, and more of us regular people need to do it because could you imagine if only the wealthy, if this continues with Bill Gates and ultra wealthy people, they don't care about us. They're never going to care about us. They're never going to care about anybody but themselves. They're only going to do favors for themselves. They're going to do things to edge us out even more so than our own government does. Yanasa TV, Yanasa. I will link this. It may take me an hour or so. He makes great content, just all about our farmland and specifically what so many people all across America are going through right now. If it turns into the elite having farmland um, only, we're all going to be worse off. So keep in mind that now is a great time to try to get into farming. There are options. Once again, Alexandra's channel goes into financing. And just imagine, like, not that long ago, I remember people saying, like, why bother gardening? Because food is so cheap. All that stuff that you're growing is so cheap. And now it's not as cheap. And food overall is so expensive that more people are going to want to get into this. And, you know, it goes deep as far as trying to make, like, bugs a source of protein and everything. So, lastly, there's major infrastructure changes going on right now with our power grid, and they're trying to implement, like, put these big data centers that take a ton of power. They're taking over a lot of farmland. And okay, this is it. My last point. Take inspiration from what you can. Know it's produced just like a movie. I know some people probably feel bad about movies, but these influencers come into your home in a way that other entertainment does not. And it can touch upon you. Try to take the positive and leave all that negative. You can do what Hannah does. You absolutely can. You can cook from scratch with simple, nutrient dense ingredients. You can visit your local farmers, go there every other week, you know, do a produce haul, get some RAW dairy, and you can do all the things she does. Just remember one of my favorite quotes: the girls in the magazines don't even look like the girls in the magazines. So don't compare yourself. Know that it's actually going to be more possible than it has been in a while if you put your mind to it and make a plan to own farmland, to be that ballerina farmer you want to be soon. Thank you for watching.